Spoiler.
Holy crap! There are a bunch of movies that are amazing, and so much stuff is going on, and we're finally back because it's been so long. Go, Reilly.
Hi, welcome to the Spoilers Podcast. I'm Reilly Magyar, and here's my co-host Levi Cook.
Hi.
This is a podcast that really there's not much structure to it. We're from the we're also the Couch Bros on YouTube. Check us out.
Check it out.
There's some funny stuff I think on there.
Yeah,
play video games.
We're pretty stupid.
One day we'll do skits. Not today. There was one skit, but Levi made me take it down.
You're welcome.
Now back onto what this is actually about. Welcome to Spoilers Podcast. We're going to be talking about many, many things today. All the trailers that have come out.
We're
Oscars.
Slightly catching up from what we missed.
The
But we're not completely.
The movies we've seen. And
the big good movies we've seen recently.
Yeah. Some footage of Aquaman.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start off with
the final Pirates 5 trailer.
Yes, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
They don't. I can guarantee that. Talking to corpses does not work out in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the trailer looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks really interesting.
Looks funny.
Yeah, it looks extremely hilarious. I feel like they're going a much darker turn because now they're realizing the people who used to watch Pirates are grown up more.
Yeah.
And so as you watch the movies, it started off pretty dark, and then it got lighter. And like even though they were always dark movies, it got a little lighter and lighthearted. And then it's going slowly back into like this darkness.
Yeah.
And it just seems super cool because there's even like some like funny sexual jokes in there.
Yes.
Where the female character is taking off her dress to jump in the water, and the other guy, he's like, "Stop this right now!" And Jack's like, "Don't stop it!" And he's like, "No, this is crazy. It's not crazy. Shut up!" And then she jumps over, and he's like, "I saw her ankles. You would have seen a lot more if you had shut your mouth."
Yeah, that was my favorite part of the trailer. But
that was really funny.
How long has it been since the last one? Wasn't it 2012?
I thought it was like maybe 2013.
I
can't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It actually might have been
got
2012 because I remember seeing it for like a long time ago with friends that I don't even have anymore.
Well, I think it got
'Cause they all
delayed a
moved
couple
away.
times.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But I remember seeing it in theaters with friends that like I no longer like am super close with and like moved away and stuff.
Well, I don't have Wi-Fi for some reason. Oh, I turned Wi-Fi off. That's why.
Well, there it is.
But
Jack looks fantastic.
the stories. What's the story all about? A little confused.
Sorry, I'm very.
Isn't it that we learned a lot in this one? He killed this.
It was a Spanish pirate hunter.
Yeah, he was trying to take pirates.
He was hunting down certain pirates.
Well, like all pirates.
All pirates, yes. But I mean, like he got to Jack Sparrow, and I think this was. When he was an early captain or when he first took over captain. I think it was an early captain, like very early because he was with the Black Pearl. And before he was, there was a mutiny. And so it shows him very young. And it looks like really good. Like it looks like Johnny Depp from when he was in 21 Jump Street, the TV show. And he basically did some crazy stuff because he's just an amazing pirate, right?
Yeah.
At least that's what he likes to think in everyone who actually knows him.
He always ends up surprising everybody.
Yeah, like the one line, like, do you think do you think he has it all planned out or just makes it up as he goes along? And he ends up sinking his ship and killing him. And I guess his pure hate and vengeance, something with a curse or something magical or something kind of dark like that. Like understands what's going on there or like kind of catches what's happening and kind of brings him back and he starts hunting down all these pirates. Now I don't know if it's just started recently and he's finally come back or like it happened immediately and he just kind of had to slowly figure out how to deal with himself at the time, but we'll find out more in the movie obviously. But now he is looking for Jack Sparrow with his whole undead dead crew.
Yeah, so I looked it up.
Yep.
The last movie, 2011 it came out.
Oh my goodness.
It's been 6 years. When this one comes out, it will have been 14 years since the original.
Wow. Those were good movies. The first movie was really good. The second movie was alright. Third movie kind of sucked, but the fourth movie was amazing.
Well, the third movie only came out a year after the second.
Yeah, that one was a little rushed.
Yeah. But we should probably watch all 4 of these before we go see the new one.
Of course.
I have all 4. We can sit down, have a good jolly old time in surround sound.
But speaking of other things, I'm going to switch that because I want to talk about the second one last. Guardians 2 trailer.
I'm very excited.
Is that the final trailer?
Yeah. No, it didn't say final trailer. Just
the third trailer.
It's still a couple months away, so we might get something else.
And it's showing off some of its comedy, and it showed off Peter's dad.
Ego the Living Planet.
Yeah, exactly.
Not much of a planet, from what we can tell.
Not yet.
But it might be like some other form of him.
Mm-hmm. But I've been really excited for this movie because I know a lot. Well, I don't know a lot, but I know a good bit about that universe of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And how crazy it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the first movie, they're kind of like taking a step in, like just kind of testing the water, seeing like, all right, what can we really do? And so they kind of had a basic space movie, right?
Yeah, space opera.
Space opera?
I love that term.
But now that they've kind of seen what they can do, what they're doing is they're just like, all right, here's the comics. Let's take whatever we want and just go nuts. And so I think this movie has amazing potential, and it's just going to be an all-out just craziness. And like, look at what we can do, because like that last movie, you thought that was kind of interesting and fun and like off book. This is going to be a whole new thing. Like, this is going to be insanity.
Yeah, and it's been getting incredible reviews.
Yeah?
Well, basically, because there's pre-showings to audiences to kind of test. They show multiple cuts and to see which one's the best, and I guess which one they chose on. Because like typically they get rated out of 100, and so Avengers only got 92 when it came out, and that was really good.
Yes.
This one got a perfect 100.
Wow.
So it's doing pretty good, and from like audience reports, from like what they said afterwards, they came out saying that it's perfect. Like,
I'm very
excited. They
excited.
don't see a flaw with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks really good.
It looks hilarious. Mantis, I think it is?
Yes.
Yeah, she is pink now, but she's wearing a green costume, which is reminiscent of what she is in the comics, which is green, right?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know a lot about Mantis.
I'm pretty sure in the comics she might have been green. Maybe. I'm not for sure, but yeah. I think she was green. I think I heard that somewhere, or like I read it somewhere. I can't remember. But you'll look it up. And their team is just growing a lot, and it's
yeah, she's green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess they just didn't want so many green characters. They have a lot of green characters right now.
Yeah.
And they kind of wanted to balance it
Well,
out.
also because Gamora's green as well.
Exactly. Gamora and Peter Quill's relationship, I'm guessing, is going to have a little more of something in this.
One of the trailer scenes in the trailer, I don't know if it was this trailer or the last one. I think it's this one where it shows them like dancing.
Yeah, that was this one. They were dancing around.
Yeah. So.
And I loved the kind of dancing thing beforehand, like in the first movie when she started listening to music.
Yeah.
And then she was yelling at him, and he's like, and the conversation about Kevin Bacon's like, why do they all have sticks up their butts?
Yeah.
So I think
that was really fun.
Yeah. So I think Peter's gonna keep slowly connecting to her with music and kind of showing her stuff like that, because she's very tough and kind of she's been forced to hold back and not really shown anything.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna unlock that side of her, even though not until at least the end of the movie there's gonna be a lot of fight between the two.
Yeah.
Which is gonna be hilarious.
Mm-hmm. It's just funny how she doesn't really understand how the casual part of society works.
Yeah.
So she's slowly kind of learning that and just being kind of bewildered by it.
Yeah, Groot looks hilarious, but you could tell right at the beginning because they're only showing mostly just the first act.
Yeah.
When in the new trailer where she sees Groot and Groot's like kind of waving at her, baby Groot, and she goes hi, and then like goes right back into it. So she's kind of already having this kind of side of like having fun and enjoying herself and like being part of this family.
Yeah.
But in the trailer it did show Yondu with just the regular thing there, right? Like his regular head.
Yeah.
But his regular headpiece. But there's news that he's actually being punished by the like main leader of them all for being a lax leader with Peter.
Yeah.
Well. And so I'm guessing he's being punished and the guy's going to like rip it out or damage it somehow. And so he's going to get a new one. It's going to be that big fin.
Okay.
That's how I'm thinking. Because I saw in the trailer, I'm pretty sure it was just the normal one from the first movie.
Maybe.
So I'm thinking that might be what's happening. Anyway, moving on to another trailer that came out, Alien Covenant.
Yes. I'm very, very excited for this movie.
We love the Alien movies.
The first Alien movie is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Well, like, the director, he made sure that he didn't tell them how to act. He just put them in this giant set and was like, all right, go for it. So they were uneasy already, and he barely gave them direction, and so it was already, like, immediately, like, you could, like, it was all real uneasiness and all real kind of, like, this kind of fear.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really good movie. Second movie takes a step in the opposite direction, kind of, where it goes with a horror movie, kind of, but with soldiers.
Yeah.
Which was cool. I still like the first movie better.
Most people think it's better, but
a lot of people think the second movie's better.
I like the setting better of the first ones.
Mm-hmm. I like the idea of the first one, but I think like just because it was like the second movie and it's like the better writing, I guess.
It's still really good. I guess it probably had a higher budget as well.
Mm-hmm. And then the third one, which
is kind of
killed
trash.
off all my favorite characters.
It's kind of trash.
Yep. And then the fourth one, which was just really
still haven't seen it.
It looks fantastic, but it is not good. Like, I watched it, it was boring, the characters were annoying, I wasn't having it. Like, I liked the actors, I'm like, oh, why are these actors in this when they're so good? But, But this movie, like, Prometheus, apparently a lot of people didn't like it.
I thought it was alright.
I thought it was pretty good. There were a few things I was like, when the ship was rolling towards him, like, why does no one ever run to the side? Just run to the side. No one ever runs to the side. And that always pissed me off. And it's like, well, in the moment you want to run away from it. I'm like, no, in the moment you want to run to the damn side.
Yeah.
That was the only problem I had with the film. Like, friggin'... And other than that, I really liked... I shouldn't say I really liked the scene, but when she had the C-section, and she had to be stapled back together, because it made me, like, cringe and, like, be like, oh, no, why are they showing me this? And, like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. Like, I liked it, but it was just... Because she went into that machine, and basically she had a C-section and had the alien pulled out of her.
Yeah, no.
And it was just, oh...
So the trailer.
That scene. The trailer, sorry, looks awesome. We got to look at the alien finally.
Yeah, well,
because we'd seen bits and pieces of it, but we didn't get big look.
Yeah, not a big one. We got to see like its face pop out in that shower scene,
and it looks really good.
Yeah, it looks insanely good. Mm-hmm. There's one where I'm kind of a little iffy, where it's like on top of the spaceship, where it's like the effects could have been polished up a little bit, but it is a trailer, so it might not be finished. But.
Mm-hmm. And at one point, it was attacking someone, and it looked really fleshy. So it might be.
Well, I think it's still evolving.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't. Do you know what the comparison this is to Prometheus though? That's what I wanted to bring up. Like
comparison.
Like, does this take place after? Or is it connected?
Yeah.
So is that ship that they found? Is
that
her ship?
I think it's. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
And that's why there's weed on the planet. 'Cause she probably planted it. But like, I want to know more about that character's story.
Yeah, because
it looks like David's back.
It is a sequel. Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, like, David's the robot, right?
Yeah, he is.
Well,
so there might be multiple versions.
Well, yeah,
of it.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So.
That was a good movie. Michael Fassbender was awesome in Prometheus.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna be fantastic in this.
He's just a great actor.
Yeah.
He was the only good thing in X-Men Apocalypse. I'm still bitter about that movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. It got added to Netflix, so I'll watch that. But all right, we got something else too. Aquaman footage.
Aquaman footage. We just watched it before this. It's about 5 seconds long.
Yeah, Riley hadn't seen it yet, so we watched it.
For a second, I thought he was a merman.
Yeah, well, because
his legs are very close together now.
Yeah, well, because he's kind of gliding through the water and then he stops, and the effects look really cool. And the way it looks like it's gonna be.
I love the aesthetic they're having going for Aquaman.
But what I wanted to point out, which I didn't point out earlier because I want to talk about it here, is the way he glides through the water is the same way Superman flies.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're still going with this, but I know at one point during Man of Steel, they had an open pod in one of the ships frozen in the ice. They were thinking that one of the people who was there escaped, left, and then actually bred, and like had children, and those children became the Amazonians and Aquaman's people.
That would be pretty cool.
That's what I think that was what one of the theories was, and what I think they might have even like said some stuff about. I don't know if that's still going with it, but that would make more sense. And so Wonder Woman has more of the strength of it, of like the Superman, like where she's like it's more of the fighting, and then Aquaman's got more of like the kind of like
I don't
powers.
think that would work with the Amazonians because they do still have Ares, God of War, so I think it's still
like
the gods.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking that's where they're gonna like take a step back because I know for a while it was like. I didn't like the idea at first, but I kind of grew into it of the Amazonians being from Krypton. But I think I like the idea better of them going towards more towards like the gods kind of thing, because the background's cooler.
If they do that, I think it would just be Aquaman, just because the way things that we're seeing with Wonder Woman leads more that it's still the gods created them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm hoping that's what it leads to, because it seems cool.
Yeah. I
prefer that kind of background, because it's a really cool story. But yeah, there's not much to say about it. It just looks cool. Aesthetic looks cool, and since no one really, like, it's kind of being put back, like Warner Bros. Doesn't see it as like a big movie. I don't think they're really thinking about it or screwing with it. So I think that's going to be like come up like as an underdog, being like, whoa, this is going to be amazing because Warner Bros. Hasn't touched it yet.
And I've only seen one movie by the director who's doing Aquaman.
Yeah.
Which was Furious 8.
Okay.
Or was it Furious 7? I think it was Furious 7.
I haven't seen any of them, so.
The most recent one that came out.
Yeah.
And, it was a dumb movie, but it was really cool and fun. So, right. I think he's definitely going to be able to make... And I know he mostly does horror movies. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I might be mixing people up.
I think if he's able to do, like, Fast and the Furious and take the kind of, like, kind of fun, cool from that, and also have that kind of darkness of the ocean from horror movies, I think it'll be good.
Yeah, so I think he's definitely going to make this a cool, fun kind of action, a little bit thriller movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm really excited for Aquaman.
Yeah. All right, last thing with trailers... Deadpool 2 teaser at the beginning of Logan.
Yes, they released it separately yesterday.
I think it was yesterday. They released it separately, but because we saw it March
2nd.
Yeah, we saw it March 2nd in the evening. So we saw Logan, and it started off with the Logan or the Deadpool 2 teaser,
which was
absolutely hilarious because they do a little like thing with the Superman. Because Superman would always get changed in the phone booth.
Yeah,
and so they were playing the song, and it's Deadpool trying to get changed in the phone booth, and it's just way too long, and he's like naked, and his butt's pressed up against it, and it was like a good few minutes of him trying to get changed, and then the guy dies in the background as he's trying to get ready. And it's hilarious, and it's like at the end it was coming not soon enough.
Yeah,
and it really isn't. It's gonna be.
They still haven't announced the release date.
Yeah, they still haven't, but apparently they're going to have a lot of really good writers hopping onto it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just going to be absolutely, like, fan-frigging-tastic.
Has that started filming yet?
I don't know. I think they're still, like, in the writing stages.
Okay. It's probably going to either come out late 2018 or early 2019 by my guess.
Yeah. Probably. Because it's just... I'm thinking it's probably actually going to come out more in, like 2019-ish.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I think they're going all out with this movie. Because
Mm-hmm.
they're like, Deadpool was amazing. Everyone loved it and had a small budget.
Wow.
Well, like, it was very well accepted. A lot of people really enjoyed it. And it was like, all right, let's give them a lot more money now. And so I think they're going to go crazy with this, and I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's actually, because of Deadpool, a lot of stuff is branching off from it now. So there might be a Cable movie.
Mm-hmm. There's X-Force coming.
X-Force is coming, and Ryan Reynolds is co-writing that.
I don't know who the other writers are, but
I can't remember. But
I'm really excited for X-Force.
Yeah, Deadpool is kind of like a launching point.
It was like, I know that they tried to reboot with X-Men Days of Future Past, and they kind of did, but then I think Deadpool has become more of their launching point than Days of Future Past was.
Anyway, but Oscars. We want to talk about that a little bit. So there's not much I want to talk about the Oscars. You can look up who won.
Yeah. There was that mix-up, but we're not talking about that.
Well, that's the one thing I was going to talk about, actually. Just because, not because, like, of anything, like, usually, but here, I'll explain it in a second. So, I think a lot of people won that deserve to win, and a lot of people deserve to win. I think Denzel Washington should have won, but I don't. Like, I feel like it still went to the right person. Like, I feel like everyone who really deserved it won.
And it's still a huge recognition to be nominated.
Yeah, just to be nominated.
And, like, because they still, like, when they talk about actors...
Suicide Squad won for makeup.
Yeah, but they still, like, talk about actors.
Yeah.
Like, they will always say Oscar nominated. Mm-hmm. So it's still a huge
like, we
recognition.
saw on Arrival, like, at Best Buy earlier, where it said 6 Oscar nominations.
Yeah.
And so, like... it's already like, hey, look, 6 Oscar nominations, so that's still a good thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think everyone who won deserved it, and I think it was good. I think Jimmy Kimmel was pretty funny. I know you.
I didn't watch the actual Oscars.
I watched a bit of it, but what I did actually want to talk about that mix-up just a little bit, not because I can't remember his name now, but he saw it, but it was already open, and then just everything. But I wanted to talk about how. uh, what's it called? What's the movie that I can't remember?
That one?
The Moonlight one. Moonlight one, but
and then La La Land.
It was La La. I couldn't remember the name of La La Land, but the way La La Land reacted to it, like they got it, and like because they figured it like, oh, we didn't win, we don't deserve this, and they were very respectful, and the guy was like, no, I'm giving this him personally because he won this, and like he had the letter with the name on it, Moonlight, and he walked up, he's like, this is yours, and he like personally gave it to him. Oh, I just hit the table. That's made a little thing in there, but I thought they handled it really well. The one thing I feel bad about, though, still is that Moonlight doesn't get its kind of speech now. And it's kind of overshadowed by this.
Yeah.
And so they don't get it to celebrate, because now it's like, this La La Land's kind of like, oh, we didn't actually win. They have to go back down now. And then Moonlight can't go up like, hey, we won, yeah! Because that would seem almost rude. But so my main thing is, I felt bad for Moonlight, because it won, but it wasn't able to celebrate, and now its actual winning is overshadowed by this mix-up. But even so, that Moonlight, I haven't seen it yet. I really want to. I just never got to, because had no money at the time. But I heard a great thing, so I'm glad it won. And La La Land, I'm just really fascinated in how they handled it. I think they handled it really well.
Yeah, different people on that reacted differently, though.
Yeah.
Like, the director, he was very humble about it.
Mm-hmm.
Emma Stone, she was kind of shocked.
Yeah, well, you can understand why.
And then Ryan Gosling was kind of just snickering off to the side.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling thought it was hilarious.
I love Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, and the director was fantastic about it. He's such a cool guy. Like, I have to say, like, I got to give him all the props for that.
Yeah.
Like, that was amazing. Other than that, you can look up Oscar winners. It was all pretty good.
Did Octavia Spencer win? I heard she's really good.
I believe so. Yeah, I think she won. She won for Fences.
Was that Octavia? No, that wasn't Octavia.
Oh crap! We said the wrong name. Sorry, Octavia Spencer.
We just repeated the same thing.
Yeah.
Whoops. What's that lady's name? She was in Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Viola Davis.
That's it. She's another amazing actor.
Octavia
fantastic. Spencer's really good too. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's alright. No one really watches this. It's cool.
Well, obviously, it's a podcast, Levi.
Gosh darn it. I will hurt you physically, mentally.
You missed a word in there.
No. Emotionally, I want to keep you safe.
Okay. But, no, I was saying... Because you said physically, mentally. You would say and.
Yep.
But yeah. Moving on from that. So a game came out this week. Last week.
It did come out, and it was amazing. It still is amazing. Horizon Zero Dawn.
I haven't played it yet. I just watched it.
Yep.
It looks fantastic. Beautiful. It sounds beautiful. The story is really interesting so far.
It makes me feel so good.
Take it away with the gameplay, because it looks fun, but I haven't played it.
Okay. Gameplay. So, the perks really do actually carry the game a lot. It kind of reminds me of Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep going.
I will. It's just a little weird. No one will know what's happening.
We didn't watch the trailer for Shadow of Mordor. Shoot, should have done that.
It's alright. I'll watch it later and we'll...
Sequel.
Yeah.
To Shadow of Mordor.
But Shadow of Mordor, it reminded me a lot of that, because in Shadow of Mordor, the more you, unlock perks, then you can take on, different camps and you can actually deal with things properly. Without certain perks, you can't really deal with things properly. And so, the first perks that I immediately unlocked, because I thought they looked super badass, were one called Concentration, where if I aim down my bow, I click a button and it slows down time, so I can hit certain spots on enemies. And the other one, if I'm sliding and aim with my bow, or mid-air and aim with my bow, it slows down time. So it just looks cool.
Yeah.
But I've been working on trying to figure out how the game works, because I still haven't been getting it. I just didn't understand it. But today, I figured it out.
Okay.
I finally got it. It is very much element based, kind of. It's each creature has a weakness and a strength, and so if a creature has a weakness to fire, you use fire constantly on it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. But in each part of it has a weaker part, but you have to use multiple gadgets that are like that, and your outfits that you get there are three levels that I've seen so far. So it's uncommon, rare, and then it was a purple thing. But, crap, what was I going to say? Yeah, so the uncommon version, it's just like kind of like a lower version of each thing, and each outfit stands for either one of them helps with melee, so you want to use that when you're in like kind of combat where there's less firing and you want to be able to take damage. One of them's like better against fire, and so when you're dealing with fire enemies, and it just kind of the list goes on. And each outfit looks really, really cool. So you do have to. It really is paying attention to what's going on, and it's not just your own skill, but understanding which characters and which enemies do what. And yeah, it's very complicated, and the map is actually really big for like how it looks, because it looks pretty small. The gameplay is really fun. The controls I haven't noticed are wonky at all. The only thing that's actually bothered me is the fact that the camera moves from the left side to the right side and stays in the middle sometimes. And so it's like I kind of feel uncomfortable when my character's in the left side of the screen, and I just wish it kind of locked on.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do that.
Is there any setting for that?
I don't know. I haven't really fiddled with the settings that much. I didn't see anything really when I was going through it the first time. Other than that, so I haven't figured out the whole game. Like, I haven't finished the game yet. I'm just going through it, taking my sweet ass time, and it seems fantastic so far. So right now I'd give it like a 9.8 out of 10, because I haven't seen much wrong with it other than the camera's a little wonky, and some of it's like a little, like some of the stuff's a little unneeded. Like there's too much going on in some areas of the game. Like,
okay.
So it's kind of like trying to balance that and trying to figure out like if I'm a high enough level to do something, but it doesn't tell me, and it doesn't allow you to compare stats with stuff. So it's a little confusing there. But other than that, I think the game is really, really good. And if you actually want to check it out on Couch Bros, we're playing it. Well, I'm playing it. Riley's watching.
YouTube.com/Couch Bros. I think that's how you can get to it.
Yeah. Or just look up Couch Bros, and we'll probably be the first ones there.
'Cause we're active.
Yay!
Not physically.
Don't talk about that.
But, so moving on to the big thing of the day.
Yep.
Movie reviews. We've seen three fantastic big movies
Three big movies recently.
Starting off with A Cure for Wellness, a movie
Holy crap.
I love this
good.
movie so much. It was a horror thriller about basically this guy needs to go and retrieve an employee at this company who are doing a merging between two companies. It's a merger.
That's not going well.
So, but he went to this spa in Switzerland, this kind of not rehabilitation,
but it is kind of a rehabilitation, because like it's for people who are super rich and in the business world who don't really know how to deal with.
Yeah.
Like there's too much stress and they're kind of freaking out all the time.
And he I believe the guy only wanted to go away for a couple of weeks, but he ended up writing this letter saying that he needs to stay and that he realized the truth and stuff like that. So he goes there and he ends up, he ends up kind of getting stuck there and starts learning secrets about it. And so it's really cool.
Yeah, that was the trailer. Now we're going to go into the spoilers. The show's called Spoilers.
Yes, that's right.
So you got to understand, that's why we put in the name. We're going to spoil everything.
Yes.
We don't give a shit about what you think.
But yeah, that was but before we do spoil, let's just give it like a quick little review on what we on it. So,
I think it gets an 8.9 for me. The only reason it gets that is because there were two or three awkward moments that went a little overboard, like kind of sexually, that made me uncomfortable, and I thought didn't need to be there. And just as a person, I thought like that, I really hated those parts.
Yeah. Like
it made me uncomfortable. I didn't want to be there for it, and I think that was the only thing that kind of threw me off. The rest of the movie, it had some really gory, cool part. Like I don't want to sound like a freak, but it was the kind of gore they had in it, like was like it seemed realistic and it seemed really cool.
But this it's not stuff that you see just like it's all the time. It's not just like getting like arms cut off and stuff like that.
It's very unique.
Yeah, and very it sets the tone very like it fits very well in the style of movie.
And it's got a very nice filter on it, making it look kind of gray and then slowly changing that color throughout the movie.
Yeah, and especially where you're at in the place, like because like when you're outside the place, it's very colorful, but when you're inside, it's more pale. Like initially.
Yeah, it's very well done.
Yeah.
What about you, Riley?
I give it a 9.
Yeah.
There's not a lot that can make me uncomfortable. I just think that, like...
I just couldn't handle the sexual stuff. Like, it just wasn't...
I don't exactly know, like, what I would say there's a problem with.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't have that level of perfection. I guess probably part of it is because, like... like it was like we were saying you can kind of figure things out before the main character figures them out if you
Which
really
was
pay
fun,
attention.
but it kind of
it also makes it feel a little bit predictable at some points.
Mm-hmm.
So like I guess that's probably why.
Yeah, because we figured out the main plot around 10 minutes in, and we figured out like exactly we had a theory exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
But which was kind of cool at first, but if they let us figure it out slower,
it's
but
very.
I think we just pay attention too much to the movie.
They kind of throw it in your face. What is exactly causing the problem?
Mm-hmm.
A lot, so it's not. Like,
there was also a few things here and there that weren't completely explained.
I wish it was a little more hidden. What was the problem, though?
Yeah. Anyway, into spoilers. It was very interesting. I really liked the movie. So in the end,
skip ahead if you don't want spoilers.
Yeah. So I'm hopping right into the end right now. Basically, he gets the choice between going back with his company or just leaving with that girl he helped. And he just kind of rides away and smiles, and it's kind of like, hey, I think he looks evil with that smile, but I think it's supposed to be happy.
Yeah. Now the thing that let's just kind of like go from this you went right to the end, but
I went right to the end.
I kind of want to go through this.
Yeah, I just wanted to hop to the end, grab that, and then like kind of go through it now.
Right when he gets there, it's thrown instantly in his face that drink the water. It's very important. Drink the water. And it's like something that's like.
I felt it was pushing it too much.
It was pushing it too much. So
you immediately knew, something's wrong.
You can't make it not obvious with how important it is to the story. But, like, every time, like, a doctor talked to you, was like, make sure you're drinking your water.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was also kind of, I think they were trying to hopefully hide it, because it's like, yes, because we have, like, an aqua spring or whatever, we're built over an aqua spring, and the waters are supposed to be very healing, and that's why it's a lot of, like, hydrotherapy stuff.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem that way. It kind of it wasn't overshadowed by that kind of. You could kind of see what was going on ahead of time.
Yeah. Now what I really liked was the main character. Like he's unlikable.
Yeah.
And you don't see that a lot, and I
and
really
a lot
liked
of people complained about the fact that he was unlikable, but it's like you don't. People, like, critics are complaining that all the movies are the same now, there's nothing unique, everyone's a likable character, and everyone has a happy ending. This, I don't think that was a super happy ending. Like, it was kind of like a lot of people, like, they burned down the building.
Yeah.
The guy rides away, and I'm a little confused if it's a good ending or a bad, because he's smiling kind of creepily. It just kind of ended. We have no idea how it's going to happen. And you didn't really like the main character at all, and the girl you just kind of felt bad for.
But you know what it does well, though, with an unlikable character, is it makes you hate the antagonist so much that you root for him anyway.
Exactly. So, like, it doesn't have to be a character you like to still enjoy the movie. It doesn't have to be a likable
and be on
character.
their side.
So I just hate critics nowadays. Like, you look for the worst in movies, and every time it's like, oh, well, why is this... Like, you finally get a movie that's original, it has... characters that you wouldn't see in regular movies, and the first thing you say is the character wasn't likable, and I didn't like it because the character was unlikable, and they should have worked more on the character development. I think the character I really enjoyed the character. I thought he had a cool personality,
and you got to learn his history and his motivations slowly, and like it was. Like,
that's what I thought. I think the characters were one of the best parts of it.
Yeah, because they were actually really well developed, and you really understood their motivations as why they were doing what they were doing.
Exactly, and you can kind of understand even if you don't like it.
Like, and the little girl, she was actually.
But she developed slowly.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of a mystery to her.
Inbred.
Yep. But so she was a really interesting character because she is quite matured, but she's still very innocent and ignorant to the workings of the world. Yeah,
because she's being kept in this kind of place. But what you find out slowly is that the doctor is really this kind of he was a count or something that married his sister.
Yeah,
and then the countryman came or whatever because he was doing a bunch of crazy stuff and taking peasants and murdering them for
Baron. He was a
baron, and they were taking peasants and murdering them for their life force.
But then they overthrew him.
Yeah, they overthrew him, burned down his thing, his castle. His sister died. But turned out she was pregnant.
And they cut out the baby and threw it in the water.
And so
it lived.
It lived somehow. The doctor turns out to be the Baron. He is burned out pretty badly, but wears a fake face, which I saw quite early on because of a picture they showed us right at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Which was very subtle, but if you're really, really paying attention, and I love mystery, so I know a lot about mystery stuff, I immediately picked up on it.
Also, there's a point where he has the napkin, Or like the tissue, and he puts it against his forehead, and blood comes away.
Yeah.
And it's not really like a cut.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And so the girl was basically that, and they basically are taking people's life forces from these old corporate people
Through eels.
Yeah, through
Weird.
it doesn't. That's one of the things it doesn't completely explain,
Which is
interesting.
fine.
Which is
Because
fine.
like how are you really gonna explain that?
Exactly. It's just kind of like, hey, this is happening.
You're just gonna get lost in the mess.
And this is where kind of the weird sexual stuff comes in, because he tries to be with his daughter. Sorry, but he tries to be with his daughter, and it's like I just lowered my voice because it made me uncomfortable just thinking about it. But he was like, oh, my sister was against this at first, but she came to understand. And it's like, that's so wrong. But basically, he's waiting for her to finally have her first period and kind of finally mature before he could impregnate her.
Yeah, and I'm guessing the immortality drug to keep the girl alive has slowed down her maturing.
Well, also the inbredness.
Well, yeah.
When you're inbred like that, it does not help at all. But
yeah.
yes, I think that helped. That caused it as well. But he needed to keep. Well,
because they were around for 200 years.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that movie was fantastic. I don't think everyone should see it though, because
it's not for everyone.
It really is not for everyone.
Like my dad wants to see it, but
I'm telling my dad not to see it either, because it's like the gore stuff in it. He just
the tooth scene.
Yeah, my dad can't handle that.
I love that.
Because I know my dad. He nearly watched his mother bleed to death, so it's kind of gore is hard for him. And so I'm like, yeah, just stay away from that. And it's also kind of got some stuff in there that I wouldn't recommend to a lot of people. So if you're squeamish, if you don't like some stuff, like if there's some stuff that'll make you uncomfortable, stuff that I regret seeing even, but...
And if you don't like nudity, there's a lot of nudity.
Old people nudity.
Yep.
To be
or
certain.
Sexual violence, if you don't like sexual violence.
Yeah. Well, no one likes sexual violence, Reilly, but...
Yes, but if you really hate it, don't go
I
see
really
it.
hated it, and I just don't like that there's a scene, so... It's right near the end of the movie, so just be careful with that. But other than that, I think...
Don't take your kids.
Yeah, I think if you're looking for a good thriller, an original plot, and interesting characters, go see it. I think you'll have a really good time.
And a great soundtrack.
A weirdly fantastic soundtrack.
No right to be that good.
No, it did not. That was way, too good. But, let's move on to the next movie we saw.
John Wick Chapter 2.
John Wick Chapter 2.
10 out of 10 for this movie.
I
love this movie.
Absolutely fantastic. You spelled John Wick wrong, by the way.
I'm sorry.
You put John Witch. Anyway, John Wick Chapter 2. I like the way you describe.
There's no T in it.
Well, what the? I don't
it's
care.
still Wick.
Okay. Well, I'll throw you out a window.
What?
That's just my answer to everything.
But John Wick Chapter 2.
Shoot, I'm wrong. Just throw him.
John Wick Chapter 2, the follow-up to John Wick.
I want to say, because I think you described it really well, and this is how I used it to describe it now, is the first movie had no right being as good as it was.
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere, and it was fantastic. And it kind of didn't even need a sequel.
No.
But they made a sequel, and this movie had no right to be so much better.
Yeah.
This movie took what the first movie had, because it had the character, it developed the character slightly in the beginning, and
a little bit of the world, just
a little bit of the world.
Hint.
And this movie takes what it has, because you don't need to know much about the character. The character's not a huge thing. He's just a badass guy. And I love badass. It's just super cool. But it doesn't spend a lot of time developing characters, because I think the movie does a really good job of, once you see them and you see them talk just slightly, you immediately understand exactly what that character is like.
Yeah.
And I found it really cool that they were able to do character development without even character developing that much.
Yeah.
Because they were able to persuade, or I don't know how this is the word now, but they were able to show their personality just by showing them in a scene or two, and then you understood exactly who they were, and you either hated them or you loved them.
There's the person who kind of brings John Wick back into things for this, his relationship with his sister. You instantly understand it by the way basically what he wants to be what he wants to happen, like his family,
what he wants to happen, and
dynamic,
how he's doing it,
and basically what the situation is,
and what he's doing to John in the process.
Yeah.
But before we go into spoilers, what would you give the movie?
10.
Same, 10 out of 10.
Just
loved it.
Stellar.
Perfect soundtrack, perfect action.
Perfect, amazing, hilarious, interesting
characters.
What's his name?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Fantastic, absolutely
so
hilarious.
I love his comment about Applebee's. But now we're going into spoilers, so skip ahead if you don't want to hear this.
Yep, to our final review later.
And so it was like 141 people died.
141 people died.
Not in
So
the making
much
of the
murder.
movie, but just in the
You
movie.
don't know that.
We don't know that for sure. We knew it created a lot of jobs, but we don't know how many lives it ended.
Yep.
Don't take our word for it.
So basically this one, we probably should have said what it was about for the spoiler-free review.
That's fine.
Too bad.
The trailers, like, you don't know much about it because it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like the basically the plot is, he has to come back because there's a marker, which is basically what he used to get out of being a international assassin. I don't know how that. I think never explains it or says a specific name, but it's used to get him back into it for one last job. Turns out that job nearly gets him killed. He has to basically fight, like it goes from, it has kind of two subplots. So he does the main thing in the beginning. He does his job. He kills this woman. Well, he's going to kill this woman, but she wants to go her own way, cuts her own wrist, dies in a bathtub. And John Wick really coolly, like, it was really an intense scene because he reached and he held her hand as she died.
Yeah.
It was it was kind of like, because they considered themselves friends too, and it was
Yeah, they knew each other. You could tell that basically just by their first
like interaction.
But yeah, I just want to backtrack just quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
That first scene, like it differentiated itself from the first one, but also was like, hey, you're back in John Wick.
Because it did the thing where it's the first movie, it wanted to be like, here's the character, what's happening, and this is what's going on, and then we'll go into the movie. This is like, you know what's going on, right into the action.
Yeah, but this one, like, because like the first one was just
Welcome to
brutal.
John Wick. Yeah.
This one was brutal, but with style. Like
it was
especially with like the subtitles. Also, like this, and, like,
the subtitles were so cool,
and the lighting and just like all that. And
every action sequence area had its own kind of style and had its own kind of cool theme.
When I first watched that first scene, I was like, oh no, is it just gonna retread old grounds? But then it was basically like, okay, here's a little bit of what you really liked before. Now we're gonna show you something completely different than what you saw, but like still in the same feel. And I
exactly.
really
where they
loved
took
that
it a
first
step
scene.
further.
Yeah, where it was just
amazing.
incredibly hilarious because the main guy, he hears all this like shooting and fighting outside. He's just
screaming and crying.
And it's just his face is absolutely
because
perfect.
he's a really good actor too. I can't remember his name, but he's an amazing actor. I really love him.
Yeah.
He plays really dark characters and like really intense guys. And he's playing this Russian guy, and he's just scared shitless.
Yeah.
And John Wick comes in and is like, peace? And he's like, okay.
She's like, yeah.
All right, that's good.
Yeah. Lawrence Fishburne's character, I just want to talk about him quickly.
Yeah. I want, it kind of leads right into this. He kills her. She's a part of this high table thing. And so
she was at her coronation to become the new member for that area.
He kills her, and then he has to run away, and now this new guy's going to become it, but this guy wants to tie up loose ends, the guy who hired him, and so now he's trying to kill John Wick, and so he's on the run.
And he sets up a bounty on him, but John Wick wants to get revenge.
$7 million.
$7 million. Hot damn!
We're going to Applebee's after this one.
I love Lawrence
Great
Fishburne.
line.
But, yeah. Where do I want to go from this?
My first thought was, because I made some jokes in the theater, because Lawrence Fishburne character, you see him and he's like petting like pigeons, he's got all these birds, and all I could think of was like, I am king of the birds.
He really is.
He really was, literally. He acted like a crazy king of the birds, but he had this cool intelligence, because he basically runs he runs this area of the city through the homeless people.
Yeah, like he keeps track of who's in New York and like how, like what operations
he's basically the eyes
is going
and ears
on.
of New York.
Yeah. Which is awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That even exists.
And Lawrence Fishburne character, though it had a small part, was amazing, and I hope
he's back from the third one.
Yeah, I hope he's back and has a bigger part in it.
Yeah.
But he gives John a gun with 7 shots in it,
which gets used really quickly.
Yeah, within 7 seconds, the 7 shots are done because he's going to go kill the guy who put a bounty on him. Because like now it's personal.
Yeah.
You messed with me. You turned your back on me. You stabbed me in the back. I'm gonna get you. And so he uses up his 7 bullets. And I gotta give John credit because every time he ran out of ammo, he just threw his gun at a guy.
Right in their face.
Right in the head.
Oh, that was just my favorite thing.
Yeah, so every time he was throwing guns and just picking up ammo and just fighting through everyone. And he kind of gets to this one mirror area where there's this deaf assassin he has to fight. And he fights, like, he fights through most of the guys, and then he gets to her, and it's like this super cool battle with this blade, and she, like, cuts him a few times, but, like, And then she does sign language too, which is really cool, and this with the subtitles, because the subtitles are really cool. And I thought it was a really cool like one-on-one fight, and I think it was like two people that really respected each other.
It was a mutual respect, but like it's their job.
They understood what they were doing.
Yeah.
Same with the other guy, where he stabs him in the heart on a train. He's like, "I put it in your heart right there. If you pull it out, you'll die. But if you don't, you can probably make it." See this as a professional courtesy, and leaves him there.
Yeah. Now, what my favorite thing is the way that this movie. Well, not my favorite thing, but like I love the way that this movie ends. Is basically he breaks the rules in like the hotel.
Because throughout the whole movie, you're thinking, well, they're making a third one. How are they going to get bigger than this? And my first thought was beginning of the third act was, they keep bringing up the rules about the continent, like that's the hotels they're at, and that you can't break the rules. And in the first movie, if someone broke the rules, they were murdered immediately.
Yeah.
And so he breaks the rules. He walks in and he shoots the main guy that you want to die.
Because you can't conduct business on continental grounds.
You can't kill, and you can't no violence. There's nothing like that. And he shoots him right in the head. And I love the manager. He's just like, "What did you do?"
Yeah. So
because he likes him and he cares for him, kind of.
Yeah. In the end, he basically there's a bounty put on him for doing that, and he has no access to any of the help. And it's doubled to 14 million, and he's basically stuck in New York where there's tons of assassins because that's one of like the hubs.
Yeah, and so everyone's looking at him, everyone's ready to kill him, and most of his friends are basically dead now. His membership has been revoked.
Yeah,
and so he can't get anything, and so it's definitely going to be like I heard like you were talking about Escape from New York.
That's what Keanu Reeves wants the next one to be like.
Yeah, so it's going to be kind of like Escape from New York, and then I'm guessing the last one's going to be All Out War, but if they make a fourth one. But so this one's going to go absolutely crazy, and I think they opened up for something fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, on to, I have to say...
No. I got one last thing I want to say about this movie.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
The characters and the world building.
Oh, yes.
Because
I almost forgot.
When he basically loads up his, like, armory, you get introduced to these three fantastic characters. And it's very brief moments.
But
they're hilarious and really, fantastic.
Like, big personalities.
And like I would love to see more of them, but I don't know how much we're gonna get because he's disconnected from the continent. Yeah. Maybe in like the fourth one that happens. Mm-hmm. But and then
that was also in Rome as well.
The world building of like developing the High Table a little bit more and the Continental and all the assassins was fantastic. Like you don't see a lot of movie series that actually like
world build properly.
Yeah, and do
like,
it well.
If you world build, they screw up the plot. But if you don't world build, then you don't have much for the next movie.
Yeah,
this movie was able to do.
And
it
has me genuinely super intrigued in this world, not just the plot of the movie.
I was on the edge of
my
seat the entire time,
and I loved it. Okay, now we can move on to the next one.
All right,
we saw the final
chapter. I would say
the final Wolverine movie, Logan. I've been anticipating this movie for so long, ever since I heard about it, and like the fact because like I love
I knew about the Old Man Logan comic. I knew it was amazing. I love Hugh Jackman. He's an amazing actor, and he does a great portrayal of Wolverine. No matter what you think of the X-Men movies, he's always been amazing in all of them.
Mm-hmm. He's gave it his all.
Yeah,
physically and acting.
He snuck comics into his dressing room when he wasn't supposed to because he wanted to keep it closer to the comics.
Yeah,
and I gotta say, this movie was perfect.
It knocks it out of the park.
It was an emotional superhero movie, and I think, I really do think, it deserves an Oscar. Like,
Best Picture,
Best Actor, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor for the girl who played X-23,
or Patrick Stewart. Either way, I don't care. As well.
But X-23 was absolutely amazing.
Well, there's actor and actress, so...
Yeah, but X-23 was absolutely amazing.
Like, for a child actor, she was phenomenal.
I have to say, we're just going to hop right into spoilers because we don't have much time, but...
10 out of 10. It was a great movie. You should see it.
Yep. Look at the trailers. You'll find out more about the plot.
Yeah.
But I have to say, one of my favorite parts is because she doesn't talk much.
No, because she only can really speak Spanish.
Well,
for a little bit of English.
Yeah, but we don't know that till later, and then she starts speaking it, and it's like she says one word, and Logan's like, "What? You can talk?" And then as soon as you find out, she just goes nonstop talking. It's like, oh, now you can talk, but you can't freaking shut up. And it's absolutely hilarious. Their relationship together is fantastic because, as the story goes, and I'm glad they kept it close to the comics, it's his genetic code, which makes her his daughter.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like, he doesn't want to get connected to stuff because every time he gets connected to stuff, it dies.
Mm-hmm.
But let's jump back to the beginning.
Yes.
Because I just wanted to say that because I found it hilarious. And let's get into the horrible darkness. Riley, do you want to talk about the very beginning of the movie? Or, like, the first act?
The first act?
Let's,
Well,
you
it
wanna
just...
take it away?
It instantly sets the tone of where Logan's at.
Yeah.
Because...
It starts off with him just unconscious.
He's woken up. He's just this old man in this car that is his own, his rental, or not rental, leased car.
Yeah.
And these people are trying to steal a vehicle, and he goes and he's like, guys, stop. And they just shoot him down.
Yeah, and they laugh about it.
And the
And I'm
bullet
pretty sure
doesn't
they
pop
already
up.
thought. I'm pretty sure they already thought he was dead too.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure they like hit him in the head with something or shot him earlier too. But
Like in the car?
yeah,
No, he was just sleeping in his car.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they were trying to.
But-
They didn't realize, I guess, because
Okay.
they look in.
Anyway, they shot him. He gets up.
And he's like, guys, don't do this.
Gets up again. Like guys, you're gonna you're gonna strip the bolts.
You strip the chrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
They shoot him again.
and then he just gets really mad.
And so
just,
you're like, oh, here we go. It's going to be Wolverine. And he pulls out his claws, very slowly coming out. Two of them come out mostly, and then the third one doesn't come out completely. He's like, ah, shit.
yeah, it was.
And then they just kick the crap out of him.
hilarious.
And then he does actually take a step further and goes nuts, and then just, you see how it's going to turn out, the rest of the movie's going to be. Because he just, like, destroys these guys, like, cutting them in little pieces.
Yeah.
Like, cuts arms off, cuts guys' heads in half. It's fantastic.
I know, like, Wolverine in the earlier movies, he was, like, kind of, like, he was a very angry kind of person, but, like, this one, he's just had so much pain.
Mm-hmm. And
that
also,
he's
like, they
just
wanted
driven
to
him
keep
off
it
the
more
edge.
kid-friendly because they didn't want him cutting off limbs.
Yeah.
Like, he stabbed people, but he didn't cut people apart.
But even then, like, in, like, the comics, he's not, like, that level of bitter and anger and just hatred.
But now it's like...
He's had so much crap.
Well, what we
happen to him.
find out is Xavier has a brain disease, which causes him to have seizures, and his seizures cause him to,
just fry people's brains like he can do what he wants, but he can't control it because like he
well,
can do that
causes
before.
them to freeze, and then they can't breathe, and they can't move, and then it like kind of like kills them.
Well, like he has like in the early movies, he has like the ability to fry people's brains.
Yeah,
So like, but now he can't control that.
exactly, because he's got a brain deteriorating disease, and we find out he kills the X-Men. In the Old Man Logan comic, it was Logan who was tricked by Mysterio, I believe,
Yes.
to kill the X-Men,
Yes.
and it just hurt him. But in this one, they switched it to
Xavier.
Xavier.
Yes.
And my gosh, Act 2, they brought him in because they leave. He finds the girl. He decides, okay, fine, I'll help her for the money and stuff. And I guess I got it now because I found out she's my daughter.
And my home got attacked.
Yeah, his home got attacked, and so he's like, all right, I'm going. Find this farm group, these farmers. They go there, and it's just a lovely scene.
You instantly know it's gonna end up bad though.
Because it's like this movie's not happy.
No.
You know everyone's gonna die, and you're gonna feel terrible.
It has brief moments of happiness, but
Yeah.
they're quickly
But,
flooded out.
Xavier, Patrick Stewart has probably his possible Oscar-winning. He has his Oscar-winning scene where he's talking about he remembers what he did, and he starts crying, and he's like, "I remember now," and it's kind of like, "This is a perfect night, and I don't deserve it."
Yeah.
And then he gets stabbed in the chest by Wolverine, but it's not Wolverine.
It's X-24.
X-24.
A copy of Wolverine, who's just a freaking maniac.
Yep. Who they didn't put anything into, any emotion into other than just pure rage.
Yeah.
And so he comes in, kills the entire family, cuts Logan up real bad, and kills Xavier. And
Which was the most tragic.
It was so sad. It was absolutely so sad. And you just feel terrible, because then Logan's like, all right, I'm going to go kick his ass. And he's like, well, you're old man Logan. You're not going to last. And he just gets torn to pieces.
Yeah. But, like, he just lost his last friend. Now he has to go up, like, against his greatest threat. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's like immediate, like, complete crushing devastation to...
And he's not doing well physically. Like,
he's not. The adamantium that was in him is poisoning him.
And gave him, we think, cancer.
Yeah, I think it's cancer because...
he was looking at that pamphlet.
Well, that too. But I mean, like... with cancer, it's basically your cells start... doubling, like they start reproducing, but they're reproducing wrong, and then that's what creates a tumor because they're reproducing wrong, and the cells don't know what to do, and so they just kind of sit there and then they clot together and create a tumor.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is his cells, now that he's gotten so old and the adamantium is poisoning him, so he's constantly getting sick, and then his cells are now copying themselves, replicating themselves extremely quickly, trying to heal itself, but it's replicating it wrong, and so now he's just got insane cancer, and he can't heal properly, and it's just so sad, because he does finally bring X-23 to the rest of her group.
Yes, but before we move on that, just the heroic death of Caliban.
Yeah, Caliban, thank God, because I wanted to punch him in the throat for a good chunk of that movie, because he was betraying Logan. Even though he was trying to help, he still slightly betrayed him. He should have just killed himself. But he did. He threw some grenades and killed himself and killed a few other guys and damaged one of the main villains. I liked how that guy died, though, the main villain. The children just annihilated him.
That was fantastic.
That was super cool. But Logan, he's not doing well, but he takes this drug the children give him after they leave, and he finds out, oh crap, they're being followed, I gotta go help them now. And he takes all of this drug at once, and he's healing now, and he's able to go crazy.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, this is the Logan we know and love.
Yeah, but I knew it wouldn't last long, and so it wears off, and now he's damaged, and he has to take on X-24 again.
Yeah.
To save the kids, him and X-23. And he has not a fun time with that. He is just devastated and ends up being impaled on a tree.
Yep.
And he's not healing, so that's not working out well for him. And then X-23 saves him by
shooting an adamantium bullet.
That Logan had saved for himself to kill himself right through X-24's head. But just before that, Logan did kill the doctor, so...
Yes.
Yeah, he shot him in the face and killed the doctor, so there are hopefully no more experiments on children and no more X-24s.
Yeah.
And the X-23 and Logan, their relationship was slowly building, and it's like, finally we have something here, but it's sad, and then Logan's dying, and X-23's holding him, and that she's crying, and she calls him daddy, and I start bawling, and I can't control myself, and freaking, then Logan's like, don't be what they created you to be better than that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, and I'm getting emotional right now thinking about it, because it was so beautiful, and it was like, why, superhero movies don't have any right to be this emotional.
And then they had to bury him.
They buried him, and they had a cross over his grave, he was buried with stones. And it was so sad because when he dies, she's holding him crying, and she's crying, daddy, daddy, daddy. And it's like, oh, what? And he has the cross on his tomb, or his, not tomb, on his grave. And X-23, as they leave, takes it and turns it into an X.
Yeah.
And then that's how it ends.
There's part of me that is disappointed that the universe is continuing, just because I feel like this would have been the perfect final note for like the long kind of universe they've had over the past 17 years.
Yeah. But like every second I was thinking, come on, Logan's gonna be fine, right? He's gonna randomly be like, oh my goodness, this actually turned out to help me, and I'm gonna heal, and I'm gonna be okay, because I'm still healing slightly, and oh maybe I was thinking of the craziest things, like maybe X-23 will cut out whatever's inside of him that's killing him, or he's gonna be okay, and he wasn't okay, man. No matter every scene, every single part, every single frame, I was like, something's gonna change. He's not gonna die. It's gonna be okay. So I was crying like, he's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't okay.
No.
It's not fair. I was so sad. It was just the perfect superhero movie.
It was perfect.
One of the best movies I've ever seen. It
was like a Western superhero movie. Yeah. Because like, I don't know. It was just...
The Old Man Logan comic is a lot different. It just
yeah,
took a lot
but they
of
couldn't do
themes.
the same thing.
So they took the X-23 storyline and they mixed it with Old Man Logan, and it's very cool. I recommend getting it. I gotta say, this was an amazing movie.
And people are here, so I'm gonna cut this short,
yep,
so we don't pick up too much sound. This has been the Spoilers Podcast. It's been a fun time, hasn't it,
has.
Levi?
Check us out.
Watch all these movies we saw because they're fantastic.
Also, check it out. Check us out. Couch Bros YouTube. We love you, whoever's listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yay.